Hello, Football for Kids listeners. The World Cup has come to an end, and I've been meaning to, and really wanting to, do a massive review of the FIFA World Cup tournament, because what a tournament it has turned out to be. However, I haven't really been able to make the episode because almost everything which I do in Football for Kids is really positive. It's about the good things. It's about being inspired, educated, motivated. But what happened after the final whistle with some of the Argentinian players is something which really isn't positive. And I think it's important that I make an episode about what happened and why it was wrong. Because it's about something every footballer must learn, whether you are playing in a World Cup final or having a kickabout in the park, how not to lose. Because winning shows everybody what you can do, but losing shows everybody who you are when you act in a particular way. Spain faced Argentina in the World Cup final in New Jersey. It was the biggest match in football. It's the sort of match that players dream about playing in when they're a child, when they're your age. Kicking a ball against the wall, pretending thousands of people are chanting your name. We've all done it. After 90 minutes, it was 0-0. Argentina had been reduced to 10 players after one of their team was sent off, and that happens. But they kept fighting to stay in the match. Then, in the 106th minute, Spain scored. The Spanish players, understandably, raced away in celebration. Their substitutes leaped from the bench. Red shirts came flying onto the pitch as a noise rose around the stadium and around the world. Argentina tried to find an equaliser, but they just couldn't. The referee blew the final whistle. Spain had won the World Cup 1-0. Argentina's dream was over. Now, can you imagine how that must have felt? You've trained for years, you've travelled across the world, you've battled for an enormous tournament and you've reached a final. The trophy is only a few metres away. Then suddenly, it belongs to someone else. It hurts. Of course it does. You might feel as though your stomach has dropped through the floor. You might want to cry. You might feel angry, embarrassed or completely empty. All of those feelings are allowed, whether you're in a World Cup final or playing for your Saturday team. But what happened after the final whistle was not allowed. As Spain's players ran on to celebrate, some Argentina players became involved in angry confrontations. One appeared to strike a Spanish player around the stomach. Another appeared to shove an opponent around the throat before pushing a second player to the ground. More players rushed towards the trouble. There was shouting, shoving and grabbing, and for a few moments, the greatest stage in football looked less like a World Cup final and more like an argument that completely and utterly lost control. FIFA, the organisation in charge of the World Cup, has opened an investigation in what happened. But we must be fair, not every Argentina player behaved like this. Some stayed away from the trouble. Argentina's manager and other players were seen trying to calm everybody down and separate those involved. This is not a story about Argentina being a bad country or every Argentina player being a bad person. A football shirt does not make a bad decision. A flag does not make a bad decision. A person does. And on that night, a small number of people made decisions that they may regret for their lifetime. When you watch football, you're not only watching the ball, without even realising it, you're watching the people. You notice how players speak to the referee. You notice what they do when somebody tackles them. You notice whether they help an opponent back to their feet. And you notice what they do when they lose as well. You might copy a player's celebration in the garden. You might ask for their shirt. You might even copy the way that they stand before they take a free kick. That is why the way famous footballers behave matters. Because somewhere, a young supporter wearing an Argentina shirt watched those scenes after that final whistle. They saw some of their heroes lose control, and that supporter needs to understand something very important. Being angry is allowed. Everyone gets angry. Hurting somebody is not. Anger can feel enormous. It might bubble inside you like a volcano. Your face becomes hot, your heart thumps, your hands tighten, and every thought in your head starts shouting at once. But your feelings are not the boss of you. You are. Anger can tell you that you're upset. It can tell you that something feels unfair. But anger cannot be allowed to choose what your hands do next. The choice still belongs to you. You can step away, you can take 3 slow breaths, you can find a parent, a teacher or a coach and say, I'm feeling angry and I need a minute. You can cry, you can sit quietly, you can talk about what happened when the storm inside you has started to pass. Walking away does not make you weak. Sometimes walking away requires more strength than charging forwards ever could. Sportsmanship is easy to talk about when everything is going well. It's easy to smile when you've scored. It's easy to shake hands when you've won the game. The real test arrives when the other team is celebrating and your own heart feels broken. Sportsmanship means shaking hands even when you wish the match could start again. It means saying well done when the words feel really heavy in your mouth. It means allowing somebody else to enjoy their moment without trying to spoil it. It means understanding another person's victory is not an attack on you. And it means remembering that losing a football match does not make you a loser. It simply means you lost today. Tomorrow you can train, tomorrow you can learn, tomorrow you can play again. This lesson matters away from football too. There will be times when you do not get what you want. That is life. You might lose a game at school. Your brother or sister might wind you up. Somebody might choose another person for their team. You might be told no when you desperately want the answer to be yes. You're allowed to feel disappointed. It's normal. But nobody else should have to feel frightened because you are disappointed. Nobody should have to move away, become quieter, or make themselves smaller because you are angry. Your anger belongs to you. So does the responsibility for what you do with it. The strongest person on the football pitch is not always the one who runs the fastest, tackles the hardest, or hits the ball furthest. Sometimes the strongest person is the one who feels the anger rising and stops. The one who unclenches their fists. The one who turns around. The one who chooses not to make a painful moment even worse. You will not always control what happens to you. A referee may make a bad decision, a decision that you hate. An opponent will celebrate. A ball may bounce the wrong way. A dream may disappear with one blast of a whistle. But what you control is what happens next. Spain carried the World Cup trophy home, but another lesson was left behind on the grass in New Jersey. You can be heartbroken without being hurtful. You can be angry without becoming aggressive. You can lose without losing your respect for everybody around you. A final whistle ends the match. It should never end sportsmanship. The way that some of the Argentina players behaved after losing to Spain was appalling. It was unacceptable. And I want you to remember this clearly. Do not let those actions become a part of who you are. Do not think it was normal because a famous footballer did it. Do not copy it because they wear the shirt you love. Do not believe that anger gives anybody permission to grab, shove or hurt another person. Football heroes can make terrible choices, and when they do, you do not have to follow them. You can choose something better. When disappointment burns inside you, you can stop, breathe, shake hands and walk away. Real strength is feeling the anger, hearing it roar inside you, and still refusing to let it control your hands, your words or your heart. So, carry on loving your football, loving your team and loving your footballing heroes. We've all got them. But never love them so much that you stop knowing the difference between right and wrong. What happened after that final whistle must not become a part of your game. Let it become a lesson instead. A lesson in how not to lose. A lesson in the player you should never become. And most importantly, a lesson in the person you choose to be.